Zikre Dilli is a digital depository of material spatial memories and narratives of the city. It was founded in June 2020 by Anukriti Gupta and Tanuja Bhakuni. Anukriti Gupta is a PhD candidate at the Center for Women's Study, Jawaharlal Nehru University. She holds an MPhil degree in Women's Study from JNU, a master's degree in Gender Studies from Ambedkar University, Delhi, and a bachelor's degree in English Literature from Lady Shri Ram College, Delhi University. Her research interests include gender, space, faith practices, material culture, and public history. Tanuja Bhakuni is a doctoral candidate at the Center for Women's Studies, JNU, in Delhi. She did her graduation in political science honors from Lady Shri Ram College, Delhi University, and her master's in gender studies from Ambedkar University. Her research interests includes visual culture, history, city space, and cityscape and city spaces, region, public, and identity. I'm so very happy to have you two here with us today. Thank you so very much for agreeing to do this interview.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
without further ado, let me just start with the first question. What inspired you to open Zikre Dilli? And precisely, what inspire your particular brand of history writing, which involved a very personal and cultural, yet a very factual approach?
So we started Zikre Dilli in June 2020. And Tanuja and I, both of us study at Center for Women's Studies, JNU. And we have been discussing our experiences, our memories, our ideas around the city of Delhi since last 2-3 years. And we always wanted to start something like that, not necessarily on Instagram, but we chose Instagram so that we could reach more and more people through social media. And basically looking at different histories, different memories, and lived experiences of people around the city of Delhi. And if we talk about the triggers, why we chose something like this, so we were noticing that in the contemporary times, Delhi or any other city for that matter, there are very clear, neat binaries that okay, this is old Delhi, this is new Delhi, this is anti-national, this is national. So we wanted to look at the engagements between different categories, not keeping anything in one box, but how we can talk about different memories, different experiences of people through histories, through literature, through letters, postcards. Like you would have noticed that we experiment with many different forms in our posts. So how can we bring all of that together? And yeah, Tanuja would.
Right.
Yeah, I think also our similar experiences in terms of experiencing the city were very much like became part of like the journeys both of us have been through have been quite similar, because like she is from Patna, so she came to Delhi like 10 years ago, and similarly, like though I'm like born and brought up in Delhi NCR, so I live in Noida, but my first like personal in the sense of experiencing city as an individual was after I took my bachelor's in LSR. So that was the first time that I was traveling to Delhi on my own, first time experiencing Delhi as an individual, as a women traveling and seeing places. So I think, and like we both of us were like, it's very interesting because we met in LSR, but we were in very different courses. And then like I then we did gender studies, but she like I did it in like I completed it in 2014. She took admission in 2014, and finally we met again in JNU. So yeah, it was kind of a circle for us also, and like how the city and its spaces actually also kind of made us what we were, and like having those similar experiences, I think, was something that like triggered us into this kind of an experiment, I can say. Yeah.
And I think it's very, very interesting. So just in connection to that only. So as you just mentioned that Anukriti is from Patna originally, and Tanuja, you were born and raised in and around Delhi NCR region. So again, like both of you had very different experiences growing up in very different areas. So what particularly about Delhi spaces inspire you to write about it? So a lot of your posts, as I was seeing them, are also about personal histories of people from Delhi. Uh, is this fascination with personal history a function of your academic background, or is it itself personally determined?
Well, I think it's both because if we talk about our personal experiences, so we have been moving around in different spaces of Delhi since last 10, 11 years now. So from South Delhi to North to Old to Southwest. And there's no one experience. I mean, the spaces are so contingent that the different spaces of Delhi evoke very different memories, and both through love and critique, through hate. So very different opinions. And so in 2018 and 19, we used to talk, we used to discuss how these videos on social media, which were coming up, like South Delhi girl, North Delhi girl, or I mean, very homogeneous, very fixed identities. So this is how a South Delhi person looks like, or this is how a South Delhi person speaks, or someone from Old Delhi. So we used to talk about these things but the Delhi which we have seen in last 10 years is quite different, and there are many Delhis, not one. So, so one of our first in one of our first posts, we talk about many gates of Delhi, that there are so many gates to enter Delhi, and everyone with their background enters and sees Delhi very differently. Even if that person is living in South Delhi or North Delhi, how can we homogenize their experiences in that case? So it has a lot to do with our personal experiences of Delhi, and also related to our academic backgrounds, because we have our research is very multidisciplinary. So we
Mm-hmm.
have been looking at our research areas through different lenses, not just through one category, but many categories. So drawing from that, how can we look at city space through many categories at one time? So yeah, that also influenced our writings, our posts.
Right. Tanuja, in case you want to add anything to that.
Uh, yeah, I think like she's said most of it. It was like she said, it was kind of driven from our own experiences, both personal and professional. So, like she said that academically also, like our like we work in a very multidisciplinary kind of approach, where we are actually looking at like different things through different lenses, like be it gender, be it uh, space, be it like identities. So I think that was another point that actually came into our writings, because that is something we have been I mean, we have through which like different categories through which we have been engaging in our research work also. So I think that kind of flowed, like very organically flowed in our post also. So if we like we didn't think like, you know, we are writing history particularly, but like it was rather, you know, how through these things like many histories are being created. So I think the approach was to actually also look at history very differently, not just in mainstream like sense of history writing, but through memories, through space, through maps, through like objects, like how can we look at like people. So that was the idea. Yeah.
Right.
So like I recently mentioned in one of the posts that So if a person visits a monument, any popular monument, so somebody who has gone to see Taj Mahal, when you will ask that person about his experience, that person will not necessarily tell you the history of that space, but will start talking about his own memories. So what did he feel when he first saw that space, and what did he notice? Who was there with him? From where did he go to see Taj Mahal? So in their personal narratives, people build stories around these monuments very differently, not necessarily always the historical details, but through their own backgrounds, through their own memories. So I think we have been trying to do that in most of our posts. How can we touch that area, that personal way of looking at historical spaces or public spaces, other public spaces of Delhi?
Okay. Um, so the urban history of Delhi has been very much centered around select spaces and themes. For example, either the Sultanate or the Mughals. Um, with this background, how is your page influencing public perception around the urban history of Delhi?
So when we say urban history, first let's look at how are people building their histories around these urban spaces. So so for example, if we are talking about uh, New Delhi, or the urban spaces which came up in last 50, 60 years, or post independence in New Delhi, can we easily and very neatly separate them from the historical older spaces of old Delhi? We cannot. So for one good example is Ambedkar University. So Tanuja and I were discussing this since last many days.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
yes, if you would like to continue.
yeah, yeah. So, like, we have been thinking about doing a post for a long time on this. So, since both of us were part of Ambedkar, and the like we like for me also, like, it was the like I though I had some idea around Kashmiri Gate and it being part of Mughal legacy, and like, especially during 1857 uprising and everything, but still we didn't, like, I was not very familiar with like the spatial history of it in that sense. So I think when I came to Ambedkar, I think it was the first time actually the building and everything, I was seeing it for the first time. And uh, like, I saw Dara Shikoh library there. So that was the first time, and I realized that, and plus we were for 2 years we were there, and we saw Dara Shikoh in a very different sense. Dara Shikoh, like that space, though it has a long history, like Mughal history, and then like during the like British times, it was part of the Delhi College also. But like for us, it was a very different kind of a space. So I was just like, we were just talking, how these like, especially like, how do we understand this monument, which is a kind of a monument, but it's also a everyday space for like students and like teachers and like people there, and how they perceive that monument. And it's kind of like uh, it, in the sense, it's not very distant to them, but it's very like, in the sense there, it's not very distant, but uh, in a very sense very personal. But like, so like, how do we understand this kind of a history? Like, it's kind of it also flows into the history of that monument. So how, like, it constantly like, how the spaces also are transforming, and through people it is transforming. So the histories are transforming constantly through these spaces. So I think that was something we were like, I was thinking around that, how do we then, look at this monument? How, do we call it a monument, still call it a monument? How does it change, like, with these times of, like, within a campus? It's within a campus then. So yeah.
If we see Ambedkar University as a modern university, and that
Exactly.
space as an urban space, then how can we talk about the presence of Dara Shikoh Library in the middle of that structure? And not just Dara Shikoh Library, there are so many monuments around
Exactly.
Ambedkar University. St. James Church, Kashmiri Gate, just 3 minutes walk from there. And so you see how there are layers of multiple histories in many urban spaces of Delhi. So how can you neatly separate urban from historical or something which is not urban? Because all these things are layered, and you have to talk about when you talk about Ambedkar University and its modern education, that space inhabited by so many students from all over Delhi. You need to talk about the historical part of it as well. Dara Shikoh, what does it mean to study in that space, which belonged to Mughals once, and then to the British. Then after independence,
Exactly.
yeah, so IGIT University was a part of it. Then
Yes.
Ambedkar University became a part of the same space. And there are many similar spaces in Delhi, like Ambedkar University. So then how can you conceptualize the idea of urban or historical or old Delhi, new Delhi? So that's what we have been emphasizing on, that it's very difficult to homogenize all these spaces of Delhi.
Right.
Yeah, similarly, I was also thinking of another example that we wrote, like we did in a post, one of the posts. It was around like the Tughlaq play that took place in Purana Killa. So, I mean, it was a very modern play in that sense. Like, and then it's taking place, look, though it's talking about the like emperor, it's actually taking place in that, like in the ruins of the Purana Killa.
Mhm.
So, how do we understand this kind of conceptualization of, you know, because it's a modern play, it's postmodern times. Also, it was written in a very different context of like Nehruvian era in that sense. So how do we understand this? Like this is also part of a history, and how the monument is playing into that history. So these are some of the anecdotes we were thinking around. You know, like how the idea of like living museum that me and Anukriti have been discussing. So these are certain things that come to our mind.
And I think it's so very interesting that you mentioned about Ambedkar, because my next question is in connection to that only. So, your account was one of the first to historicize the colleges of Delhi. Again, just like with whatever you have said, how do you think these college spaces are important in history as social and cultural spaces?
Uh, so I think one of our first posts on college histories, it was titled "Girls from LSR, JNU, Miranda House Do Not Apply."
Yeah.
So yeah, and it went viral in few. I think after in 1 or 2 hours it went viral, and then so thousands of people liked it. And Scroll, Scoop Whoop, The Print, many news portals, they shared that article and wrote about it, and it kind of like triggered a debate around women's colleges in Delhi.
Hmm. Hmm.
So so this was a very popular phrase when we were studying in LSR and then again in JNU, that the perception around women students, not just in Delhi but also outside. So when I was coming to study in Delhi from Patna, so some of my extended relatives were very particular about this, that okay, go to LSR but don't study in Stephens. Apply because LSR is a women's college. Don't apply in a co-ed college. And even in the case of women's college, there was so much that Delhi is not a safe space, and women from these colleges are not. They learn so many things when they go to Delhi. They become over independent, and this kind of independence is not very good for our family. So all these things, a lot of narratives about women's spaces in Delhi. So we were thinking about something like that, and then we posted it. And but at the center of that post was the history of women's colleges. And I think, but the title people related that title, they like that title and the pictures because there are so many people from Delhi University following our page. But I think the main point which that post was trying to make is that Delhi has a very long history of women's colleges and how these women's spaces have developed over time. And even though these spaces are not perfect, and it's not that you go in a women's college and the next day you become super independent and free. No, these spaces have their own limitations, and we did talk about it in the post. But I think the caption got more attention than the content of the post. And because we have been occupying three very different universities like JNU, Ambedkar University, and Delhi University. So many of those posts are somehow coming from our own experiences. So
Yeah, I mean, even like when actually she was writing that post, she had like she was doubting it, and she asked me like whether we should post this, like. So, but because actually she wanted, like, we were thinking of actually writing the history of women's institutions in Delhi, and also it was coming from a very personal like experience of being from Delhi, like of occupying these spaces. I think, yeah, that was the main. And yeah, the I think because we were usually, like, both of us are from LSR, and it was quite a common quote or
yeah,
like phrase that was,
we always
yeah, we like that was being tossed around, and we used to laugh about it also and think about it. So, like, yeah, we thought like it would be interesting to start like the post like this. And but like ultimately it was actually talking about these spaces, and like both uh, it was actually very much embedded in our own experiences of occupying these spaces, and we were trying to locate the history of that space. So yeah.
Right. So you deal, like as you just mentioned, you deal with a lot of personal histories and modern cultural past of Delhi. And in this context, what is your approach to the sources? Which piece, or rather the theme from your account, has been the most difficult to source?
Mm. So we have been thinking about this because we write a lot about personal history, but uh, we have been entering the domain of personal history mostly through literature, theater, films, uh, historical anecdotes, or if we
So,
find some
like,
interesting
yeah,
postcards or
letters
letters,
or yeah. Hmm.
and also through our own personal experiences. So we have been discussing this since a very long time, that how can we include the personal experiences of other people of Delhi, uh, people maybe starting with people of our own from our colleges or other colleges of Delhi, uh, looking at the youth first and then maybe including other people, how to go about it, how to include other narratives and other personal experiences. So we will be launching our website soon in March, and we are adding a new section to Zikri Delhi, which is called Living Museum of Delhi. And in this, we are starting with spatial and material memories. We are beginning with that, and we will be requesting people to contribute their memories with photographs or in a written form, the in whichever way they want, their memories around spaces of Delhi and materials. So that material, like in one of the posts, I wrote about library cards of Delhi and how of Lady Shri Ram College, and how my library card and my ID, my college ID, became first tangible sources to relate me to Delhi. Because when I came to Delhi as a 16, 17-year-old, so that was the first tangible sense of feeling related to this space, to this very new city. I do not know anything about it. So we are sure that there must be many such memories which people would have felt around Delhi over time in their college years or when they started working, many kind, and memories around spaces. So memories around public transports or monuments or the place where they first lived when they came to Delhi, or their college hostels. So we will be doing that soon, where we include other people's voices and what do they have to tell, different stories around Delhi, different critiques of Delhi as a city. And yeah, so we have been feeling that since the beginning, that how can we write not just through literature, because even though we find many interesting anecdotes from literature, like there, so we have written a lot about streets of Delhi. So in if you see Ghalib's and Meer's couplets, how they are valorizing the streets of Delhi, that once you enter Delhi, you can't leave its streets. But then again, when Amrita Pritam is writing about her character Kamini in Delhi ki Galiyan, and Galiyan being how she enters through Galiyan, how she enters the city. Then Kamini continuously talks about her idea of streets, where she feels very insecure and a sense of disenchantment with the spaces of Delhi, and she wants to leave the city as soon as possible. So very different approaches towards the streets of Delhi, towards the public spaces of Delhi. So we have been trying to cover all these things, but through literature, through secondary sources mostly till now, and through our personal anecdotes. So now we will be adding more voices um, to Zikr Dilli soon. So that's what we have been planning to do.
Yeah, also like the sources part. So since we are not looking at Delhi through one particular lens, so I think it also gives us an opportunity to like explore different kind of sources. So we try to be as creative as possible in our sources. So I think uh, that is something we always try to do. Like look at, like we have looked at films, we have looked at theater, we have looked at transportation, music. I mean, literature is there, poetry, even like from our personal visits to certain places. And so yeah, I think we artists. So yeah, I think we try to be a little creative so that we don't get like stuck in our sources. So yeah.
And most of the times we try to add a historical background. So like you
Yeah.
mentioned that
Yeah.
our posts are also very factual. So
Yeah.
most of the times, even when we are entering memory and personal anecdotes, we always try to contextualize it historically, and then we. So for
Yeah, for us, I think both like uh, it's not just personally driven in that sense, but we always try to locate that personal in the social and political. Even if we are writing our own experiences, mostly it's we actually mention the time period and what is going on. So I think that is very important to give that personal a very seated approach. So yeah.
I think it's so very interesting to hear about your upcoming projects, and with the website coming in and a lot of more narratives that you will be putting forth. I'm so very excited as a reader and as an avid reader of your Insta page so far. Like yeah, like I'm genuinely looking forward to a full website where there'll be a lot more content. So yeah, thank you so very much for coming up with the idea, and I'm genuinely looking forward to it. Okay, I'm gonna ask my last question now. And very briefly, like if you have to put it, and considering that you have been in the space, Anukriti, you have been in the space for around 10 years, and Tanuja, you have been exploring the space much more closely for the past 10 years. So how do, if you have to, very briefly, how would you define the spirit of Delhi?
um, so, like I mentioned, that many gates of Delhi, many gates to enter the city of Delhi. So I think even it might sound very cliche, but Delhi, for me or for us, how we have been exploring Delhi in our posts, it has been, it's so contingent and so heterogeneous. Like it's a mix of both. It's sometimes it can sometimes the conformity is very palpable. You can see that because it's a seat of power. But then again, at the other hand, it is a seat of protests as well. So if you see suppression, you see many protesting voices at the same time. And uh, again, so like I said, that it's so difficult to divide old Delhi from new Delhi because the layers of history are so overlapping, and not just at one point when at particular points in history, but continuously. So as we were discussing about Red Fort as a site of protest, and how suddenly it gained a very new meaning after 26th January 2021. But if you see, before 1970s, Old Delhi and the area around Red Fort, parade ground near Chandni Chowk, that area was quite active, and that area was that was the main spot for political rallies and protests. But after and before independence, protests were not allowed in New Delhi. So the British were very particular about it. And all these protests and rallies, all these things took place in old. So Shahjahanabad was the center of these protests. But after 1971, when after the Bangladesh War, when India Gate was declared a memorial for the unknown soldier, after that, the protest sites shifted slowly to New Delhi, and then again, India Gate and Jantar Mantar became the most popular protest sites. And people stopped talking about Old Delhi as the protest site. But if you would have seen in anti-CAA protests, and again now in January 2000.
I think our connection, like.
Yeah.
Anukriti, are you there? We are not able to. Your screen froze, I think. Tanuja, would you like to speak? Would you like to
So
talk about how do you see the spirit of Delhi? Very briefly, though. Sorry.
yeah, sure. I think she just texted me that electricity chali gayi hai, so like we have to wait for 4 minutes for her to join in. I think the spirit of Delhi again, like it's so mixed. Like but like for us, especially like there have been like different kind of experiences that both like good, bad, like mix of it. So, but like she said, like the we actually want to be very hopeful. Like ultimately we're kind of hopeful with this place. That is what I want to say, that the spirit of Delhi kind of is like that for me. And also that hopes come from actually the narratives and histories that we are trying to trace. So like she was I'll just continue on what she was mentioning about the Red Fort being the site of protest. So yeah, how like these histories are now being either being ignored or omitted, and how uh, a like new kind of like national anti-national, these kind of divides and binaries, like history is being actually spoken or recorded in these terms now. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that is something we want to challenge through this page. And yeah, the idea is around those lines. So yeah, I think I just, if she can join in. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of very mixed for us. Like for example, like I wrote a piece on like the buses of Delhi, like DTC. So I like for 3 years of graduation, I used to travel from DTC, and that like though like I have traveled early also in DTC, so like my experiences of DTC have been very different. Like it has been good, it has been very bad, it has been like obviously being a like, then the space is also gendered in that sense, and being a woman, you like experience the space in a very different sense. And so again, like I think these overlapping identities actually form your opinion about the city. But I think for me, it's like, I don't want to use the cliched example of, like, like how the city has been, uh, like plundered for so many times and then it revives and everything like that. But yeah, but still, like, I want to believe in that idea of a phoenix, the city as a phoenix. So like, though it like has its problem and everything, no denying of that. And we are also like, for us, Delhi then is not a romantic space at all. Like, we're not looking at Delhi at all as a romantic space, but like very much a very complex, grisly, like lovely, like beloved, like it's everything for us. So yeah.
So, with respect to the spirit of Delhi, so since we have not homogenized any space or any history of Delhi in our posts, and we are engaging with all these spaces, categories, histories of Delhi with a very multidisciplinary approach. So, I can't pinpoint any one attribute which represents Delhi. So, for example, there are so many layers of history, and how we see Delhi or how we imagine Delhi it's continuously changing. Not just the main moments like 1857, independence, not just those, but even today. So, for example, the space, if we talk about the space around Red Fort, how did it gain very newer meanings after January 26th, 2021? And so in the contemporary collective memory around protest sites in Delhi, people think that all these protests are majorly centered around Jantar Mantar or India Gate. And old Delhi, Red Fort, that area is not, it's not very active in protests. But if we look at, not very, I mean, that period is not very far from us, like just before 1970s or before the independence, New Delhi was not a site of protest before independence. And all the major protests, rallies, all these bataks took place in old Delhi, around Red Fort, the grounds of Red Fort, Parade Ground, Town Hall near Chandni Chowk, all these areas. And after 1970, after the Bangladesh War, when India Gate it was announced as the memorial for the unknown soldier. After that, slowly protest sites shifted towards New Delhi. So if we make contemporary times as our central point of looking at protest sites in Delhi, how can we forget that New Delhi, that the areas in Old Delhi have been active in protests? This is not the first time when Red Fort's space was occupied for protests. It has been active. Those areas have been active. And again, when we talk about the spirit of Delhi, do we always talk only about uh, all the popular spaces in Old Delhi and the kind of romanticization which goes around its spaces? So then how can we talk about Karawal Nagar or Silampur or Okhla or Chhatarpur or so many localities in Delhi which we never talk about? But then those areas have their own histories, own experiences, own memories. So I think spirit is, it's too small a word to capture what Delhi is. So like many gates of Delhi, which we have been talking about in our posts, there are many Delhis existing parallelly. Sometimes they contradict each other, sometimes they overlap, but then moving forward together. So many spirits of Delhi can't be defined in any one um, attribute, through any one attribute.
Tanuja, if you would like to continue.
Yeah, I think what, like, this is something, because we are constantly trying to understand like our understanding of Delhi has is being, like, we constantly discuss it. So like she said that for us, like, there are like multiple Delhis, like in that, like spanned through like different times and different spaces also. I think what she said, that these very like not even like distant but immediate histories are also being like omitted out, or like and like histories are being seen in a very binary sense of, they are being converted in very boxes, and very binary sense of like the understanding of history has become very binary in that sense. So I think our the idea of this recollection of Delhi, of this living museum, actually attempts to kind of disrupt that idea of a binary in that sense. And also, like for me personally, again I want to say that through these histories, actually we then attempt to understand this uh, very complex idea of like what Delhi constitutes. And personally for me, then Delhi actually, I want to look at it in a very hopeful sense through these histories. That is what I would like to end with, I think. Yeah, so very difficult to define, because for us also it's we have experienced Delhi in very different ways. And I think, but the idea of like it being uh, still, we want to see Delhi as a hopeful space for like people who are living here and people who want to come here and experience the space.
And also people
So
who have left Delhi,
left,
but they are
yeah, Delhi,
still remembering
till
it
yeah,
in their
continuously, because I,
writings or
yeah, writing, talking, like I have friends who have left Delhi for like 10 years and they're still talking about Delhi, and still, like anything happens, they immediately call up and say what is happening there, what is happening there. So I think that is what we want to capture. So yeah,
So
yeah,
basically, what is our idea of zikr? Because we emphasize on that a lot, which means
hmm.
recollection. So it's a continuous process, a continuous effort on remembering, recollecting Delhi and what it is, what it can be, what it was. How can
Yeah.
we bring
Also a very
everything together?
conscious effort on our part, in that sense, a very conscious effort on our part of that recollection. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's so very interesting, and um, it has been absolutely lovely talking to the two of you about so many different aspects of Delhi and the material spaces, about the cultural and the memory, and so many different narratives that are there around the city. And as somebody who was born and raised around, like very similar to Tanuja, like I was born and raised in Delhi, but then again, like you start experiencing the city once you get that sense of independence, once you leave school and join college, and then you actually start traveling around the city, and you're no longer in the very like uh, eh, in a very guarded setup, and you're actually exploring the city by yourself, and so many different narratives and so many different perspectives. And yeah, like as I really admire the work that you are doing at Zikre Delhi. It's very good to read your posts, to regularly follow whatever you have been doing so far. And thank you so very much for agreeing to do this interview and be a part of our ongoing edition on the heritage spaces of Delhi. And I wish you all the very best for your upcoming work. I'm very eagerly waiting for your website to go live. And yes, thank you so very much. I really like, on behalf of the entire team Dhara, like I'm very grateful that you agreed to do this. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.